call witnesses to establish some facts in support of the state's arguments? State, let's start with
I just again note my objection because I don't see, again, I'll observe the right to object to the request, but I just don't see the relevance in terms of the arguments I make.
Well, I think that some factual testimony is indicated by what everybody's argued here in class so far.
And if you could just please raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter will be the truth and the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Okay, can you please have a seat, so you can state the full name, spell your last for the record.
It's Jason Short, S-H-O-R-T.
How are you employed?
I'm employed as a police officer for the city of Keene, New Hampshire.
Just to make it clear, the factual testimony is based on the legal arguments that are being made. We're not trying Mr. Colson.
Correct. And for how long have you been employed by the city of Keene as a police officer?
14 and a half years.
And drawing your attention to on or about September 22nd, 2011, did you receive a directive from Captain Costa of Maclean Police Department?
I did.
And could you please explain what that directive was as it concerns Central Square?
The directive was to address issues of behaviors and general disorderly type conduct in Central Square in general.
And do you have an understanding of how that directive came about?
I don't understand 100% what the question is that you're asking.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you, what was the purpose behind the directive?
From my understanding, the purpose was in response to citizen concerns that Central Square was unruly and no one, regular citizens, I guess citizens in general, were complaining to the city, powers that be, that it wasn't a place of enjoyment anymore, and some of the luster of going there and enjoying downtown had been tarnished by childish and just unruly behavior on the parts of younger, generally people underage.
And so what was the precise directive that Captain Costa gave to you and your fellow team officers?
The directive was zero tolerance on all infractions, city ordinances, state laws, etc. And a remedy as well was to issue trespass letters to persons that have continually violated those types of behaviors, city ordinances and such.
Okay, and this directive concerned only the Central Square in Keene?
Correct.
No other public property?
That was, the directive was specifically for Central Square.
And what further actions were taken by the city of Keene concerning Central Square and the concerns that were raised?
You mean what type of enforcement action?
What, if anything, did the city of Keene take steps concerning the Central Square to alert the public as to which type of activities were prohibited?
Just going from memory, every hour, officers had to either be there in Central Square as a presence or swing in as doing their downtown beat. Different officers would do it different ways. Some would stand out by the church and just have a presence. Others would go in a little bit more directly and stand there. Warnings were given, I'm assuming verbally, for a number of people. I know myself, I talked to a number of different people who I thought were not necessarily leaders of different groups or cliques of people, but the ones that I knew were the more popular of them, and let them know about the zero tolerance issues and the general behavior concerns of the litter, the swearing, skateboarding, things that were in essence destroying Central Square.
What if any signs were posted at the square?
They put, I believe they've always been there, but they freshened them up. They had the no skateboarding bicycling painted onto the entrances of the sidewalk on all the entrance points.
That were clear and visible to anyone who entered the square?
Anyone paying attention, yes.
And just to be clear, it is a city ordinance violation in Keene to skateboard in certain areas?
Correct, specifically downtown. It's generally marked from anywhere there's no parking at all at night. I think it runs from the old church roughly on Court Street, the Utopia is a reference point, or the old telephone bill Atlantic there on Washington Street, and St. Bernard's on Main Street. That's the general area.
And drawing your attention to May 10th of 2012, were you on duty at about 2:46 in the evening?
It was?
And do you recall serving a no trespass order to a certain individual on that day and about that time?
Yes.
And who was that to?
It was Mr. Colson.
And what was the reason for that?
He was skateboarding in Central Square.
And what did you do in response?
I issued him a trespass. I gave him a warning again. I know that I'd given him warnings before verbally, nothing that would have been written down about that. And instead of the summons, I issued him a trespass letter.
Okay. And that trespass letter specifically prohibited him from being only at the Central Square
Correct.
area? State would seek to introduce a copy of the no trespass order as an exhibit. Is there objection?
I think it's in here somewhere, anyway.